I got something to show you guys. You're gonna say it's fake, this, that, and the other thing, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Let me pull these out first. So I have the Shazam video that they say never existed, which is Mandela Effect number 1. Well, let me get this to focus. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's Shazam. I have the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. It's the actual book. And then I also have an original pair of Fruit of the Loom. Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia. You can see the cornucopia on there. They say it never existed. But that's it for you guys. It's going back in my safe. I'm hanging on to it for good. So there you go.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sunset Rants. I'm your host, Biddy. Here with the actual producer, Brian. What's up?
Howdy. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a safe, an uneventful, and peaceful weekend. I know I did. And also, hey, happy Columbus Day, everyone.
Yes.
Shout out that great Italian explorer, the man who opened the way to conquest and enlighten the Western continent with what ultimately resulted in the greatest experiment in a self-governing republic ever tried, the United States of America. So we salute Christopher Columbus tonight on Sunset Rants.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah, I'm happy it's back too. I mean, his name and everything means a whole lot more than everything, but it was always like an Italian heritage holiday kind of thing because of where he came from. So it's like it kind of sucked when it was reversed. It was like, really? I mean, we don't really have much in lieu of, like, people have Hispanic Heritage Month, Black History, like all these different things. The whole big St. Patty's Day parade and all this other stuff. And we have this one holiday. And they were like, oh, no, it's going to be Indigenous Day. And it's like, really? But yeah, so I'm glad it's back. So thank you, President Trump, for that. That was awesome. But yeah, another and mostly way more historic and amazing event happened today because of President Trump, largely. And
yes.
Why don't we kick that off? Because this is huge. I mean, no matter how you feel about the man, and we've seen it across the media. I mean, some media is still acting funky, but for the most part, a lot of people are agreeing that without President Donald Trump and his persistence in these efforts, we wouldn't be here today with the ceasefire, and we wouldn't be here doing this peace agreement in the Middle East. So this is historic. It's amazing. It's wonderful. So let's just read a little bit about. So from NBC News, how the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal came together. President Donald Trump's personal touch, both his heavy hand and gentle guide, played a pivotal role at key moments in the development of the Middle East peace deal that promises to bring an end to Israel's 2-year war in Gaza, because this is the first phase. Current and former officials in the United States and other nations told NBC News. Trump announced on Wednesday that the first phase of the plan to end the conflict in Gaza had been agreed to, with a pause in fighting and the release of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. Trump called it, quote, a great deal. In a brief interview with NBC News on Thursday morning, everybody is happy, he said. The deal accelerated over several crucial moments: Israel's strike on Qatar, discussions on the sidelines of the recent United Nations General Assembly in New York City, and Jared Kushner's conversations with his father-in-law, these sources said. Also helpful, though, was an old-fashioned deadline. In recent weeks, Trump told advisors he wanted to announce a deal by October 7th, the second anniversary of the Hamas terrorist attack on Israel that precipitated the war, according to two people familiar with his instructions. The president, one of the people said, was fixated on the date both for its symbolic significance and because he saw it as a way to herald a new step forward in Israel's relationship with Saudi Arabia when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman visits Washington next month. This account of the Trump administration's role in the ceasefire deal is based on interviews with a dozen sources in 3 countries. As the war in Gaza grounded on with more than 67,000 dead, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry, declarations of famine, images of wounded children across social media, it threatened Trump's vision for a more interconnected Middle East that he began to implement in his first term with the Abraham Accords, which established relationships between Israel and several Arab nations. So I mean, basically, I mean, I'm not going to read the entire article, but, it really just kind of lays out for you that this has been an ongoing thing. This has kind of been, it seems like it's something that is at the heart of what the president is looking for as far as where world peace needs to begin. I mean, you don't even need to be abreast of foreign policy to just, when you think of Middle East, I mean, there's the phrase peace in Middle East. It's been going on since I was a kid and way before that, I'm sure. So it's just always been a thing that the Middle East has been chaotic, just developing factions left and right. Yeah, go ahead.
Between this and the Abraham Accords, this is the most significant step forward. And I mean, the Abraham Accords itself was huge, but then, 2 years ago on October 7th, that kind of all blown up. And now it seems like we're back on this pathway toward, I'm not saying peace in the Middle East, but maybe a more peaceful Middle East, which is what I think everybody wants. Trump has said all along he wants to stop the killing. He wants to stop people from dying. And, let's be honest, none of this would happen without Donald Trump's force of will.
I agree.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. And it's not going to be pristine. It's not going to be linear. I'm sure there's going to be, in the future, there's going to be factions that try to, whatever. But they can't get anywhere without funding. They can't get anywhere without people turning a blind eye. We have to strengthen, not we, the United States, but in general, right. These countries just need to be strengthened. And the idea that it's in their best interest. I know everybody wants to sing Kumbaya, but for the most part, a lot of people, they see money and opportunity and power, especially these leaders. So if you can guarantee that there's going to be deals on the table that everybody is prosperous and that could lead to a more peaceful Middle East, I think that probably is the kind of conversations that Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, and others, Marco Rubio had with these leaders and these representatives from these countries. It's like, yeah, I get it. You have this beef, whatever. They stole your land. They killed this guy. You killed back, whatever. But do you guys actually want to prosper? Do you want to build your country? Do you want to stop all your buildings from being rubble? Like, there's so much more that can happen in these countries individually, where you can just rise to something independently as your own, and you don't like this
Right.
is not getting you anywhere. So I think that it's become more of like a money and opportunity conversation, and I think that speaks to a lot of people, rather than just saying like, can we just stop the killing? Because when you think of leaders, a lot of them, yeah, they care about their people probably, but they're not with them every single day, all day. They're kind of disconnected a little bit. So if you can give them some kind of negotiation where it hits home a little more, then maybe this is what he means when he says, I think this is going to stick. The kind of negotiations that happen, I think.
This
Yes, it seemed.
hold on. This video you sent me earlier before the show, I think, kind of explains a little bit of the difference here, the Trump factor, indirectly, that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I understand, was one of the hostages. Long term was just released.
Yep.
So one of the Israeli hostages held by Hamas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the hostages out. Before we felt like nothing is happening, and I remember ever since he came into the road, they were very scared of him. Yeah, they wanted
Who?
Terrorists.
We're afraid of Trump.
Yeah, they wanted Kamala to be chosen, to be elected.
You talked politics with them?
Yeah. They wanted Kamala to be elected. But as soon as Donald Trump was elected, they understood that he wants to bring the hostages back home. Yeah. So immediately the way they treated me changed. So if it's the amount of food, I could say this, that when Trump became president, yeah, the way they treated us changed. For me personally, this is what I
think
felt.
because they anticipated that a deal would come soon.
Yeah.
And that's when they started giving you more food.
Exactly. More food, treated me better, stopped cursing me, stopped spitting on me.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, basically, the Hamas captors were scared shitless of Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and
also they probably didn't want to dig their own grave even further.
Right.
If it became to a kind of negotiations, they wanted to. But he was saying, like, before Trump came in, it was like things were kind of stagnant. Like the feeling amongst them was that nothing was ever going to happen. That they were a lost cause almost, kind of thing. So, and like you said, he can't speak for everybody. He can only speak for himself and the change that he saw. But that's really telling. And it's real. Again, like, no matter what you think about him, even if you did vote for Trump and you're just kind of like, some things you're just like, it sounds like a lot of BS and posturing or whatever. In this particular situation, you got to give credit where credit's due. And he did amazing work with this. And he was not backing down. And like he said, even in the summit, in the peace talks, he's had relationships with a lot of these leaders even before he got into politics.
Right.
I mean, he's a global businessman. Yeah. So great news with that. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but we do have another story that we just kind of want to give you guys an update on.
Which I'm surprised more people haven't talked about this one.
Me too. I mean, I guess everything that's going on with the peace talks that kind of overshadowed a bit, but yeah. So from CBS News, 16 people killed in Tennessee plant explosion, remembered by their community, and the losses are staggering. just miles from a rural Tennessee plant leveled by a devastating explosion. The congregants of Maple Valley Baptist Church devoted Sunday service to the 16 deceased victims and their families. Several of the dozens of people praying at the small church knew someone who worked at the plant owned by Accurate Energetic Systems, which supplies and researches explosives for the military and is a well-known employer in the area. There's a quote here, there's a somber kind of vibe right now in the community just because it's so many lives that have been affected by it, said Pastor Jimmy Andrews of the church in Nunnally. It's family and friends just trying to hold each other up during the most difficult time. Yeah, so the cause of Friday's blast remain under investigation. Crews were carefully going through incinerated property, searching for possible evidence. Authorities warned of smaller controlled explosions Sunday to dispose of hazardous materials. Source close to the investigation told CBS News on Saturday that the area appears to be much more unstable than they thought, which was slowing down the assessment of the site. Extraordinary precautions are in place to prevent further damage and injuries. Yeah, so 16 people killed. Sheriff Davis, who's been the one who's been talking, the sheriff there, and he's been on the press conferences. He said that his neighbor was one of his best friends, was one of them who was killed in the blast. And you get a feeling from the press conferences, the emotions shown by Sheriff Davis, that it's a very close-knit community. I mean, he was trying to like choke back tears a lot. It's really, really sad. And again, like they were saying, there's small controlled explosions needed to stabilize the site because this was a military site with explosives. So I'm sure there's some that didn't go off, different things like that. So they have to, figure that out, as well as they're trying to gather evidence. They were saying that the explosions were so large that a lot of things were blown kind of miles away even. So their perimeter just keeps getting bigger and bigger as they're searching. And it's kind of like this tragic puzzle that they're trying to put together right now,
Getting what went wrong.
To figure out what went wrong, find all, of the people and, kind of piece together everything. And I think they were saying something about people on the ground. They're doing something like a map gridding system where they tag each piece of debris and other things, which is like hundreds or thousands of pieces. And they then kind of backtrack, try to see where it all stemmed from. So Sheriff Davis is preparing for weeks ahead. It's probably going to be even longer than that.
It's incredible. And if I were a little more proactive, I would have already had them pulled up. But there's they're floating on Twitter this weekend, these photos, a current aerial photo of the site now. There's nothing, like freaking nothing there. And in a previous Google Earth photo of the site, where you had this large building and, parking lot and everything. And now there's just absolute devastation. It's like completely wiped off the face of the earth. It's incredible.
Yeah,
The amount of devastation in that.
I mean, I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything, but it really looks like sawdust when you look at it from above. It's insane. And I seen some videos of some of the family members just talking, and this young man, his mother was in the blast, and that her goal was to pay off her house. So she would, she's working really hard to do that. So they're all going to band together and do that for her, just kind of continue that, get her house paid off. And another family member, I think it was like sisters of one of the girls there. She just started there like 8 months ago. A young girl. I think she was like 26 or something, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right.
So, and then, just branch out of all these families and friends and loved ones. It's really the entire community just so affected. It's just terrible. And, of course they want answers. They want it now, but there's just way too many things going on. There's explosives that they might have to check and make sure it's still there. They don't want to really move things too much. They have to be very meticulous with the way that they're doing things because they don't want to mess up the investigation of trying to figure out how it started. Oh, you got
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. The Google Earth before, and then the site, the same site.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yep.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. I literally saw this earlier. It's just so terrible to see it every single time. It's just crazy. And one of that young man I was talking about with his mother, he was saying the comfort that he has is that he has an idea that she probably didn't feel any pain at all. It was like instant.
Right.
So that's kind of like, something that's comforting for these families is that they probably didn't even know it was happening, maybe. And, it was like so quick that they didn't suffer. But I imagine it's going to take quite some time. Like I said, they're gearing up for, weeks ahead to keep doing this, but a lot of people are saying maybe months, because again, you have to do this very, very carefully. And also they got to worry about any weather changes that are going to be happening in the coming
Yeah.
months. So they're really trying to rush, but not rush. I mean, there's just so much happening. So we send our love to and our prayers to everybody there. It's just terrible.
All right. Well, moving on to our international news story, which really ties into our to the lead story. This comes at you from ABC News. Trump world leaders gather in Egypt for ceasefire deal signing with Netanyahu absent. Kind of buried the lead. If you notice the thumbnail from tonight's for tonight's episode is where it's this photo and where's BB. So President Donald Trump joined more than 20 world leaders in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt, on Monday for talks on Gaza's future, with first phase of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreement underway. Among those gathered for the summit were Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, French President Emmanuel Macron. If you see any of the videos from this, the death grip that Trump put on Macron when they shook hands, that was epic. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and former Prime Minister Tony Blair, as well as officials from Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, and United Arab Emirates and Turkey. The group posed for a family picture in front of a sign that said Peace 2025 before a signing ceremony related to the ceasefire agreement. So let's see okay, yeah, here we go. Classic. I signed it. Here it is. Here it is. Here's my beautiful signature. There's the Donald front and center there. Another great photo op. I just want to point out here, I won't read it. It's kind of buried in the article. Netanyahu offered an excuse. He didn't come because a religious holiday, whatever. He didn't come because this was a peace agreement that was forced down his throat. It's a peace agreement he didn't want. It's a peace agreement that if he doesn't go ahead and accept, he's going to lose it. His political future is done. Mm-hmm. So that's why he didn't show up. Hopefully now that the tables have kind of flipped and now he's got pressure from within his own country, from within his own government, to go ahead and go along with the rest of the peace plan as Trump has proposed. Hopefully, maybe this does bode well for a lasting peace agreement, as lasting as we can get in that region.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, it is. I mean, for lack of a better way of saying it, it's not cool that he didn't show up, but it's probably everything that you just said, along with representatives of Hamas who were not there. But
well, I think Hamas is done politically. They're certainly done militarily. I think they are done politically. I think the people who live in Gaza will not trust Hamas as a party to govern them as they have before. So hopefully they find a different way, a different path that will lead to coexistence, with the state of Israel.
Right. I mean, they kind of, I mean, I don't even know if that's changed, but, when everything was still going on and, there were talks of like, Palestinian refugees and where they're going to go, a lot of the neighboring nations, especially like Muslim nations, weren't willing to accept them. So they really need to, I mean, you guys kind of learn to, you have no choice. So, but yeah. And Egypt's president, El-Sisi, said in a statement, he said, in appreciation of President Donald Trump's efforts, I would like to declare before the attendees Egypt's decree to decorate His Excellency, which is kind of cool to hear, with the Order of the Nile, the highest state honor among Egyptian decorations. It is awarded to heads of state usually, and to those who render great service to humankind. So, even though President Trump didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, I mean, he's getting accolades from a lot of these leaders. Even the leader, and I can't remember, I should wrote his name down, but from Pakistan, he spoke for a little bit, and he almost sounded like a little choked up. He was very passionate talking about, the Indian-Pakistani war that almost took off, and how Trump helped with that and got it stopped and got an agreement going with that. So, they're really, really recognizing his strength and what he's able to do, and it just really kind of shows you what a leader can do. It really begs the question of
Really.
like why leaders in this country beforehand haven't really tried to do anything like this. It's always just been, oh, we'll just fund more war. We'll send troops, we'll send more, things to blow up, like, but we haven't had people I don't know, I don't really know enough about all foreign policy history, but quite a long time that have really looked to a different route in getting peace. You can't get peace through war. You just can't. It just begets more conflict. So this is really good, and I hope it sticks. Yeah, I mean, so President Trump spoke a bit. I mean, he spoke a lot, as he usually does. But he said, we're here to celebrate tonight is more than the end of the war in Gaza. It's with God's help. It will be a new beginning for an entire beautiful Middle East. From the moment forward, we can build a region that's strong and stable and prosperous and united in rejecting the path of terror once and for all. We want to get rid of the terror and get on to other things. There's so many things in life that are so good. He said the final sprint to this deal began less than 3 weeks ago on the sidelines of the United Nations in New York. He said, I met with many of the people in this room, and it just started coming together. And then he kind of went and did a Trump thing where he was like, some people in this room I don't like, but you'll never know who they are. And I just was like, all right, well, we'll just skip over that.
Classic Trump.
Right. It was probably Keir Starmer who was standing behind him looking very uncomfortable.
On a side note, and some folks in the chat were mentioning this, Trump recognized that we need God's help to accomplish a lasting peace in the Middle East. And, I don't talk about religion too much around here, but later on the flight back on Air Force One, he was very open, saying, I don't know if I can get to heaven or not. I'm thinking, if I can pull this off and get this peace deal done, maybe I'll be basically by saying, I don't know. I've done a lot of bad things, all that, but all he has to do is recognize he needs God's help. Mm-hmm. He needs God's grace, and just accept God's grace. Mm-hmm. Okay. That was,
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, most people don't realize that. They think it's in your deeds, but I mean, we're all sinners. Nobody's perfect. There was only one that was. So, all you need to do is just admit that you need God's help and that, that's the way, and you're promised heaven. It's just the deal that was made. I mean, he should understand that. It was a deal that was made, for lack of a better way of saying it. But yeah. So I do hope this sticks. This is the first phase, so we have a lot more coming up, but and they are going to be rebuilding Gaza. A lot of people that were in that room are, footing the bill on that. And hopefully when a lot of these places, when they have their own, prosperity going on, they won't be worrying about who, if the grass is greener on the other side. And maybe we can have some years of peace. That would be lovely.
Amen.
So,
Well, we
yeah.
gotta.
Go ahead. Wait, I was gonna attempt a segue, but I suck at it. So you go ahead.
Segue schmegway. We do this brute force. We're going to move on to our local focus segment coming at you from Politico. I'm not a fan of Politico, but the AI can parse it. So here we go. Austin Beutner launches bid to unseat Karen Bass in the LA mayoral race. So in case you guys have been living under a rock, Karen Bass, the embattled mayor of LA, catching a lot of heat, literally, figuratively, after in the aftermath of the LA fires. So I'm surprised it's taken this long for a rival to pop up, but here we go. Austin Beutner, I guess, former investment banker who led Los Angeles schools through the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. Oh boy, so there's another hero right there. Announced Monday that he will challenge fellow Democrat Karen Bass in Los Angeles' mayor race, casting the city under her leadership as adrift. Well, duh.
I mean, I look at her leadership as something else, but we'll go with adrift.
Yeah. His entry into the race comes after Bass was politically damaged by criticism of her response deadly fires in the Los Angeles County earlier this year. That's an understatement. Beutner, while criticizing the mayor's handling crisis and her efforts to rebuild, said in a launch video that he voted for Bass when she first ran in 2022, but argued the city needs change. LA is adrift, Beutner said. It seems every day our city is becoming more expensive, less safe, and more difficult place to live. The city has spent billions on solve problems that have just become bigger problems. Homelessness, the cost of housing, the loss of jobs and opportunity. Bass has enjoyed at least partial political rebound in recent months while defending her city against President Donald Trump as he deployed National Guard troops and Marines there amidst protests of sweeping immigration rates. That evil Donald Trump. Okay. Okay, let's see here. But that's not turned away Beutner or billionaire mall magnate Rick Caruso, moderate who's ran against Bass last cycle, has considered challenging her again or running for California governor. Oh boy, that's another one we could get into. The California governor and until last weekend front runner for that one. Mm-hmm. Ooh boy, ooh.
Like we actually saw our whole political career just crash and burn right before our eyes. Yeah.
Well, it's California, so she may still have hope. Beutner carries a more progressive profile than Caruso, a Republican turned Democrat, that could aim him in deep blue Los Angeles and make it more difficult for him to differentiate himself ideologically from Bass, who has been steeped in Democrat politics dating back to her years in the House. Bass around on addressing homelessness statement. Senator campaign strategist Douglas Herman cited 2 years of decreases in the city's homelessness counts as evidence that his administration is proving it can deliver. Well, the problem is it's gotten to be so bad that the homeless have moved on. I mean, but all right, Biddy, I turn it over to you. Rant on, please.
Yeah, well, I was looking up this dude a little bit. I saw something that was kind of interesting. So, after the fall of the Soviet Union, Butner went to work for the U.S. State Department. The Clinton administration tapped him to lead a team into Russia and help transition them from communism to a free market economy, including the decommission of weapons and other material. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I know they say that he's like Republican turned Democrat. I think he's more moderate Democrat, if that's the case. And it's kind of funny because if you think about people like Newsom and Bass and the other people that are in politics over there in California, a lot of them are like, they love the socialism thing. They have ties to, different actions that they've taken. It looks like they're trying to push California into more, kind of communism situations and things like that. So it's kind of funny that he's already worked this a little bit and he's trying to basically save LA from turning into more of a socialist hellhole. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Yeah.
Sounds to me like he's just a former DC swamp creature.
Oh, well, that. I don't know. Like in places like New York and California, I even think Chicago, Illinois has more of a chance of flipping because they are just so over it. They're really, their people around them are just dying. There's just way too much crime. There's just so much craziness going on. The approval rating of, the mayor and the governor is really low. But the people in these states, they're just so ingrained with all of these like public programs and this like bleeding heart ideology for the less fortunate and all this other kind of stuff. So if you have somebody come in and say, hey, we're going to all get to work, we're going to build this up, we're going to stop with all of these handouts because all they do is cement you into a lifelong welfare recipient. People look at that and they go, I don't want to work. I don't want to do. I think it should be fair. We should all be fair, So it's like, it's hard to change that like ingrained ideology in these places. If anybody is going to unseat somebody like Bass, who's like a real nut, unfortunately, it's just going to be somebody who's just like a step above, if that. I don't know. I'm praying for Curtis Sliwa in the mayoral race here. There's been some developments there with Mondami. They're investigating his campaign, saying he's getting foreign money. So I've been looking at that.
Of course he's getting foreign money.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he's...
So I've been watching that in hopes. And, Sliwa's actually gaining some traction. He's TikTok is a huge thing when it comes to like the popularity of people. And we saw what happened with Trump. And he's all over that thing. And he's going into all of these neighborhoods, hanging out with everybody. And it's possible. I'm not going to be too optimistic because I've been hopeful before. But with people like Lee Zellner and stuff like that, it's, he was great, but I don't think he was really what he could do was getting to the people. Curtis Sliwa has a history in this city. So he may have a chance. It would be really cool to see if he won.
And if nothing else, he does have name recognition in the city. So
Right. And to the people in New York, he's like that guy that's kind of like a Trump guy. He's like, he's like one of us. Like he talks straight. He's, if you got, I'm gonna say something, but like he's pretty gangster. He goes into these like trains and stuff, and he like deals with people. He goes into these neighborhoods and talks people straight to the face. He doesn't care where he goes. He's not afraid. He doesn't go with like a whole crew. So I think the people in North should give him respect and vote him in.
Exactly. Speaking of New York, got a story here from your favorite newspaper.
Nice segue. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. Okay, so from the New York Post, Torres blames Google's terrible navigation after toppling into Canal. Here's why you shouldn't use its maps in Venice. It took her on a trip to the falls, just in case we weren't becoming overly reliant on Google Maps. A Polish tourist fell into a canal in Venice, Italy, after the ubiquitous navigation app allegedly led her astray. Quote, when Google Maps says go straight, but you're in Venice, Victoria Guzenda captioned the clip of her epic waterfall. So I guess like she did like a little caption on herself. The accompanying clip shows the traveler walking down the stairs in the city of Canals while on her phone, when all of a sudden she slips and falls in the water like a slapstick comedy move. Oh, so see, I didn't read through this earlier. So she was walking and using Google Maps. So she was like staring at her phone and she walked right into the canal. I thought she was driving. Okay. It then cuts to Guzenda tending to some nasty scrapes on her leg that she sustained during the inadvertent channel surfing moment. Many viewers ridiculed the Globetrotters' predicament, with one writing, "So, what did she think would happen walking down stone steps into the water?" Another mocked, "Maybe stop blindly following a GPS and actually look around and use your brain. You kind of just walked into this quip to third person." Others were skeptical that it was a Google Maps issue at all. She clearly slipped. She was probably just going to stop there on that step to take a photo. Yeah. I mean, you know, you're in Venice, Italy. Look up, for crying out loud. Why are you staring at your phone anyway? But yeah, that's just a little insane. I remember one time I forgot where I was. I don't know. I was somewhere and I was using GPS. I was driving and we were in one of those kind of like roundabout four corner roundabout things where you come and you have to go this way and turn around and it swirls up. It was like all this crazy thing. And the GPS just kept going, recalculating every time I made a turn. It was terrible. I was stuck in that for a good minute. I thought I was like gonna go insane. I felt like in National Lampoons when he goes, "Look, kids, Big Ben," like over and over. I was so stuck in there. But yeah, this is funny.
So many jokes I could make here. I will say this: she does have nice legs.
She's got that going for her. Thank God they weren't badly scraped up.
She'll recover, you know.
She'll be all right. I think it's just her ego is a little tarnished, but other than that.
In the meantime, she can wear tights, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It says Google Maps frequently directs tourists to routes that simply don't exist or are blocked by canals, tour leader Venice writes. Many visitors find themselves standing at the edge of a canal with no bridge, exactly where Google Maps said they should turn. Oh, so yeah, so literally if you ever go to Venice, Italy, don't use Google Maps. Like, don't, because they don't work. That's funny. Just get a map. Like, get an actual map. You know, the one that folds. Oh.
Checking the chat here.
I slipped in Venice once, says Doug. Once.
Is that a Johnny Dangerously callback?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good
That's
movie.
what I thought.
What did he say? I talked back to my mom once. Once. That's a good movie. If any of you guys have not seen Johnny Dangerously with Michael Keaton, like, you need to right now. Well, not right now. In 15
There's
minutes.
a recommendation for the drive-in folks. I think T-Bone would eat that one up.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Michael Keaton is like really a good actor. I mean, he's so versatile. It's insane.
It really is.
Yeah. Good flick.
You know, I got to say, I remember, you know, being a young man when he was announced to play Batman in the Tim Burton movies, and I was like in the original Tim Burton Batman,
1989.
1989. I graduated high school in 1990, so I was unconvinced because I knew Michael Keaton as Johnny Dangerously or Mr. Mom. I didn't think he could pull off, Batman.
Yeah, he did a lot of like funny movies. Yeah.
But son of a gun, he did it.
I love Mr. Mom too. I rewatch that quite often. It's a funny movie. But they said the same thing, like Liam Neeson, when he wanted to get into action movies, they were like, oh, he's not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be convincing. But I mean, he killed those Taken movies. Like, he is those movies.
He really is. He really is. Well, I guess it's about that time. You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, in fairness, this one's not entirely AI generated. It is AI enhanced. I took an actual photo of an ICE protester. F-A and F-O-ing. And I put it through Grok, through some filters. I thought, here we go. We'll throw this up. So I leave it up to you, the chat. Give us a good caption. Remember, it needs to fit on a t-shirt to win. And go.
Have any of you guys in the chat seen the original video? It's actually really funny. There's this guy like coming up behind her, and
there's a better image of that I could have, but we're trying to keep this somewhat PG-13.
Right. And he's like, sir, what is your name? And then he gets to the front, you see clearly that's a female. But yeah, her whole tuchus was out in the back.
Oh yeah, for the world to see. I mean, forget Mama's advice about always wearing clean underwear. Wear underwear.
right. Or wear pants that fit, because if you're down like that, if you're like laying down and those pants can come like all the way down like that, and they don't fit you. They don't fit you. Oh my God.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Psycho Gamer says, make sure to get my good side.
That's it.
You got the idea, Psycho Gamer. Let's keep them going here, chat.
Yeah. I've never seen Much Ado About Nothing, actually. I should check that out. Land Whale Fafo.
Well, let me get the chat window up.
I like when somebody puts in like it comes up like a present. We even got the little emoji.
I like the ice off. It redrew the ice officer. He's got 2 pistols on him.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I gave you some bananas. I forgot they're gonna come up on the screen.
All right. So far, we've got our 2 contenders are make sure to get my good side from Psycho Gamer and Iris 30 with Land Whale Fafo.
They're both
chat.
good.
Come on, chat. Let's give us.
Oh no!
Doug. Doug.
Oh my God. She definitely came from the same land as Porter. Wait, Jessica Rabbit, Merida, Ariel, Princess Fiona, Yosemite Sam.
Oh man. Oh, I love the thought that was put into that one.
What is donut?
But so far, new Katie Porter OnlyFans tape. She-
It's literally like the same vibe as like when we first saw her. We were like, this beast. She's a nut job. Oh my god, you know they had to oh my gosh.
Did they have to double cuff her?
Yes. I take a triple XL cuff, officer. Joss Whedon versions are both good for much too. Well, nothing. Plays the same part as Michael Keaton. Okay. Oh, good. That was a good laugh. I don't even know. I forgot we were like doing the show, just sitting here laughing. All right.
Well,
Thank you, God, for giving us laughter. It's so nice of you. The world is so crazy. At least we have laughter. I didn't know Rosie O'Donnell had her OnlyFans, and quite frankly, I did not want to know. Don't knock it till you try it. Try what?
you know, the sad thing is, somewhere, someplace, Rule 34, somewhere, someplace, there's naughty depictions of this. That's why the new Katie Porter OnlyFans tape found is so fucking funny.
Oh.
Well,
I'm not
it's
even upset about being mean to her because she is a psycho, mean person.
Yeah. The original photo, I mean, the AI really kept, the crazed look.
Mm-hmm.
And reportedly, when she went down and was being cuffed because she works for WGN, the TV station in Chicago.
Right.
She said, I'm a member of the press. You can't do this to me. See how
Listen,
well
lady,
that went.
you went there because you wanted to up your career and get popular, get famous. So it may not be what you wished for, but you're famous. The moment Karen realized the manager called back up.
Well, the moment, even if she did have First Amendment protections, she lost that the minute she tossed a rock or a brick at an ICE officer and made herself become part of the story. Once you're part of the story, you're not a member of the press anymore. So,
It's so crazy how like it's not crazy actually, because if you think about how downhill we were going for so long, and but like I watch these videos and people out there, like they get stopped by a cop and they get told to give their ID and whatever, and right away they're like, I want your supervisor, so they have to call supervisors. I don't know if this is like in every state or county or whatever, but like things that I was seeing. And then like these people that like attack the ICE agents and stuff and put their hands on them, I'm like, have you guys lost your ever loving mind? Like, you really think you're gonna get out of here unscathed? But they probably think they're gonna get put in jail and then get bailed out by some radical billionaire. Yeah, laughing is good medicine, Iris, for sure.
Psycho Gamer with a late submission. Lady finally got wanted. Somebody finally wants her. Somebody finally wants her.
Like put her face with like a wanted thing around her.
Yeah.
Wanted, finally.
I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing. That's
nothing.
2 F's. I didn't do nothing. All right.
My whole table is shaking.
So we're coming up on time. I think we're unanimous here. I mean, if you got a different favorite, let me know. But new Katie Porter OnlyFans tape found. I think that wins.
Yeah, I think that had us laughing the most. But
It
like
really
there
did.
was it was like not easy because there was like a ton of really good ones in here.
Oh yeah. I
But yeah,
mean,
that just kind of wrapped up like all of our news segments and stuff like that. That's funny.
so well, got a little bit of time to kill here. So did I pull up? Once again, I failed to pull up the website, so we'll get that pulled up.
But yeah, well, while he's doing that, I mean, you guys can go use our Q&R code that he put up there at the top of the screen. That brings you right to our website, riseofmiddleamerica.com. You could see all of the hosts that are on all of our shows. You could see our most recent videos. You have access to all of our socials, YouTube, X, Rumble, Discord, if you want to join the Discord and hang out with us.
Links to some of our there's some of our latest episodes up here. Now we've had some additions, we've had some deletions of team. This site is under revision, so to say. So it may not look like this, a couple days from now, later in the week, but I'm not part of the web team. But yeah, changes will be coming to the website, so throwing that up there too.
Yeah, and you can get to our merch, like all of our t-shirts there. I don't have anything on right now, but I have my Roman Nation hat. I decided to wear the MAGA hat today for Trump, but we've got hats, shirts, Sunset Rants, Roman Nation, and all of a couple of captions that we had, some photos with the captions on it. So that's what's coming down the pike for some of the captions from the shows here that we're going to be putting on those t-shirts. So yeah, and it's a great way to support the channel. As AKA says, keep the lights on.
Vashnik, record the head shave. We'll take about a minute and a half clip of that and turn that into a cold open.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot. I seen that before we got on. We made the 1K. We're at 1.04. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for all the support and everything. It's really, really great. Thank you guys, as I always say, for coming and hanging out with us, engaging in the chat, just seeing like the same faces and some new faces. Well, not faces, but you know what I mean.
Right.
It's really cool hanging out with you guys. You really make the show even more enjoyable. So love you all. And thank you, Brian, for doing the show and putting the show together. Monday through Thursday, all the hard work you do.
It's not that hard.
But I mean, you may use like different tools and stuff like that, but it's not easy coming up with content and stuff like that, especially in an ever-changing environment. It's not like you can think a week ahead and put it together, It's like, oh, breaking news, I gotta like, you gotta throw this in here somewhere and make it all cohesive.
It's like today, I didn't even start looking at the news until about 3 o'clock this afternoon and start putting this together because, stuff changes so fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically like the big peace agreement and everything, that was going to be the main focus.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you could follow us on X. You can follow the show at @therealroma_AK. You could follow me if you like on X, Elizabitty213A. You can also follow Brian at BrianTidwell1 on X. And yeah, don't forget tomorrow we got same time, same place with Tay and D, Sunset Rants, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you all have a great evening. Happy Monday. Have a great night, guys.
Not y'all.
Bye.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.